What up everyone, it's your boy X-Man87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends video, and what I have for you today is the Marvel Legends X-Men Wave Bonebreaker Build-A-Figure series Siryn action figure review. Before we get into everything, if you could please leave a thumbs up like rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now with that said, it's time for me to give you another 1-2 punch episode of the Uncanny X-Man-y story time, and then we'll take a look at the figure. Let's go! Teresa Cassidy, aka Siryn, first appeared in Spider-Woman issue number 37 titled Who Am I? In 1981 and was created by Chris Claremont and Steve Leialoha. Teresa was born to Sean Cassidy, the first Banshee, and Maeve Rourke. While Sean was away on a mission for Interpol, shortly after Teresa's birth, Maeve was killed in a bomb attack and Teresa was taken in and cared for by her uncle Black Tom Cassidy. Sean finally returned home from his mission only to find Maeve dead. The hot-headed Sean directed his anger towards his brother Tom for not looking after her and broke his leg as a result. Out of spite, Tom never told him about his daughter, allowing Sean to believe she had died with her mother. Tom decided to raise his niece as his own. When Teresa developed the same mutant abilities as her father, she joined her uncle and his best friend Juggernaut in a life of crime under the moniker Siryn. Her first prolific mission was to steal vibranium at a bank in San Francisco that Nick Fury was scheduled to pick up the day after. Professor X senses Siryn's presence and sent his X-Men to investigate the young mutant. Siryn left a path of destruction at the bank, which alerted Spider-Woman and led to a confrontation between the two who battled it out. Spider-Woman had a tough time taking down Siryn, but she succeeded until being disabled by Juggernaut. Spider-Woman would then join the X-Men team, and after a prolonged fight, they defeated the villains. Black Tom was arrested, but submitted Siryn to the care of the X-Men so she wouldn't go to prison. Siryn would then reunite with her father, Banshee, in Xavier's mansion. Siryn would then move to Muir Island with her father, Moira McTaggart, and Jamie Madrox, aka Multiple Man. It is here that Siryn starts a romantic relationship with Madrox. Soon after, Siryn and Multiple Man travel to New York City to search for two new mutants known as Sunspot and Warlock at the request of Magneto, the head of Xavier's Institute for Higher Learning at the time. Here is where they would form the street-level mutant stable known as the Fallen Angels. Siryn would later become a founding member of X-Force and for a time was its leader. Her teammate Warpath developed a romantic interest in her, but she fell in love with Deadpool when the two met while fighting her uncle Black Tom and Juggernaut. Banshee warned Siryn that Deadpool was a madman and a murderer, but she found herself enamored with him, even looking past his horrific appearance. Due to this kindness, Deadpool became obsessed with her to the point he would sit outside her window as she slept in the X-Mansion. Over time, Siryn became the voice of reason and sanity in Deadpool's ear, attempting to sway him to the good side and continue on that path in order to progress their relationship. Warpath continued to pursue Siryn's affections, making his dislike for Deadpool clear. During her time in X-Force, she helped put down a variety of adversaries such as Mojo and Onslaught. She even battled S.H.I.E.L.D. forces on more than one occasion. Her biggest fight was internally as she struggled with alcohol addiction at a young age, something Warpath was able to guide her to sobriety. She left X-Force when Pharaoh, her former teammate, turned villain, slashing her throat, destroying her vocal cords, rendering her temporarily mute and powerless. She would later heal and gain her powers back thanks to the aid of Deadpool as he stole a sample of Wolverine's blood. After her relationship ended with Deadpool, she joins X-Factor and falls back in love with Multiple Man. The two had a son together named Sean Madrox. She decided to retire after agreeing to be possessed by the Celtic goddess of war and death, Morrigan, in order to save the life of her friend, Polaris. Teresa resurfaced again as Siryn during the House of X event to work with Dazzler and her father Banshee. She also joined the Krakoan Nation. To avoid spoiler territory for new readers, find out what the newly reformed X-Factor discovers when they decide to investigate Siryn. For powers and abilities, Siryn has sonic powers as a result of her mutation, like her father Banshee, but has displayed abilities he hasn't. Siryn can create powerful sonic screams that can shatter glass, knock people out, and destroy a city block. Siryn can also channel her scream into a sonic lance, where she screams a tightly focused sound vibration which can cause incredible pain, damage, stun people, or shatter objects. Like the Sirens of myth, Siryn can use her voice to make people fall in love with her, and, in this state, they are susceptible to anything she orates. Mutants are immune to this seductive power, but other superhumans, no matter the gender, aren't. Like when she used her power to make Spider-Man tell her everything about decimation. Siryn is able to manipulate sound waves to propel herself through the air, gliding with ease and maneuvering by inflating sound pockets with which to bounce off of. Siryn can also use her powers to enhance her hearing, use it as a radar sense of sorts, create force fields, stop current sounds from reaching others, and talk so only one person can hear. Her powers are more like sonikinesis than just sonic powers, but that is how they are described. In other media, Siryn appears in X2, X-Men United, and X-Men The Last Stand films. She is played by Shauna Cain. Siryn took the name Banshee as a tribute to her father and has appeared in over 1,400 issues. Alright, so I'm going to start things off here by not taking Hasbro's bullshit because they don't give us a screaming head for a character's power trait that's sonikinesis. Come on! And I gotta let Hasbro know this right off the bat because that's not cool, it's unacceptable. So normally I rank my figures from a scale from 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, and we're not out of 10 here for sure. So I'm knocking off 2 points for not having a screaming head. Actually, make that 3. So now we're starting at a 7, so let's see what else is a big miss here. You know, not including the screaming head, which, man, I want to scream for her for the exclusion of that. Just judging the head sculpt on this figure right here, it is pretty. She looks pretty. I love the ginger hair, love the green eyes. She just blossoms. However, the flowing hair doesn't really fit here for me. I wish it was just relaxed straight down, and that would have been better. Now, if it was a screaming head, yeah, the flowing action would be cool, but that's not to say that if she's flying, you know, she doesn't have to be screaming all the time. But I really can't take off a point for the hair, just to be fair, because it does complement flying poses. Now she's in her 90s X-Force costume, which this is the Siryn I wanted. I love that X-Force run. Siryn's one of my favorite X-Force characters, and I just love the costume design here. You know, normally sometimes she had like a head facial band right around her face, so that's not included here. That's not major for me. It's okay because, you know, she's seen without it. So it's one of those preference things. It might bother you, it might not. They did choose a nice green color plastic for it. The yellow is super clean. That's what I'm very happy about. It looks really good here. Nice, bright, and vibrant. And what the hell are they doing using the AOA Rogue upper torso? It's not completely the Shriek body, okay, it's partially. The upper torso is the AOA Rogue. They did this with the Invisible Woman. Why? You get those 2 big gaping holes in the back, and it's just, it's awful. Taking off 1 point for that. I'm happy that the X logo on her chest is super clean. It always makes me happy anytime the X logos are painted perfectly on X-Men figures because that drives me nuts when it's messy. And I love the cape because it's soft goods. You know I'm a fan of soft goods, so it made it super friendly to pose. And yeah, I'm happy about that. So you can move her arms down. There's no struggle. I like that. You know, you could play around with it. So if you want her to fly, you can lift this up a little bit higher, you know, like kind of play around with the shoulders here and lift that up a bit, and you can see it can like flare out like that. I like that, you know, makes it look dynamic for flight poses. And of course, if you want to like keep it down, you can just tuck this underneath like around her shoulders, because that's where it's connected, is in the shoulder socket. So you want to make sure you kind of tug it down a bit so that it can, you know, look relaxed and flush just like this. The cape might annoy you when you want to swap the hands because it constantly pops off like that. So you're going to have to, you know, plug the peg of the hand into the hole of the cape and into the hole on the arm. Not a biggie for me. I deal with it. Love the pinless arms, looking nice and smooth. Love the cuffs on the wrists right there. And there's her lower torso and the legs and her it's a freaking yellow thong. It's like a random thong, but I like how the design always came around her waist onto the middle part of the design in her costume. And she's got those nice slim thick legs from Shriek, as you can see. Double jointed pinless knees. Got the cuffs around the ankles, which looks good. You could lift it up, so you just want to make sure you always bring it down so there's no green seeping through. I think these are new feet, probably new. And it says 2021, so it could be new. And she's got some interesting peg holes at the bottom of her feet. They're not even deep at all, so why even sculpt holes for them. They should have just kept them flat. It's so weird. But I love that they keep putting the serial numbers at the bottom of the feet, so that makes me super happy when it comes to photography. So I like her to have the thigh straps on her costume. I don't know why Hasbro didn't give her the thigh straps, so I went ahead and took the thigh straps from the Love Triangle Cyclops and put it on this figure right here just to get a visual look of it. And yeah, no, it's too big. As you can see, there's gaps right there, and it's just, yeah, it doesn't work. But I just wanted to get like a good look at it. Man, I wish they really put that there. I mean, they gave thigh straps to the new Quake and Maria Hill figure, so I don't know why they couldn't give Siryn thigh straps. I mean, they are different, and these have the buckles on the side. That's how her thigh straps normally look, but it is what it is. And now for accessories, she comes with 2 closed fists, and then she has 2 stylized action hands. Now for articulation, her head moves that far up, so with the flowing hair, she's definitely going to look up, and she's going to look that far down. She's going to look left, right, and there is some nice pivoting there. You got her arms that move that far up, so way higher than a T-pose. That's always good to have. And then it moves down. They shift up and down. Well, you can move them all around. It's just you're going to have that cape twist around the arm. This figure would have benefited from a new upper torso with butterfly joints, man. This character could definitely use that. They need to start putting butterfly joints on the female figures. You got the bicep swivel right there. Double jointed elbows. Beautiful. Love that range. And you got the wrist swivel, wrist hinge, diaphragm joint that only moves that far forward, that far back. It does swivel and it rocks around, pivot, all that good stuff right there. No double diaphragm joint, which is something that we need on female figures right now. Her legs spread that far apart. She kicks up that high, which is really good, and kicks that far back, so you get a nice frontward split. Her legs rock around nicely. Thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and oh, so close to having that heel to the thong butt. And you got her ankles that move up that far and down, and you got the ankles that rock all around. Now to kick off comparisons, we have Siryn next to some of her X-Force teammates, Deadpool and Warpath. Here she is next to some characters that she's had some run-ins with in the past, Spider-Man and Spider-Woman. Here she is next to some of our newest S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. We have the Pulse-exclusive male S.H.I.E.L.D. agent and a female S.H.I.E.L.D. agent that I kit bashed from the controller wave. Here she is next to Moira McTaggart and her uncle Black Tom Cassidy. Here she is next to her baby daddy, Multiple Man. And lastly, here she is next to her fellow wave mate, Maggot. Maggot review is on deck. Alright, and now to wrap things up, my final rating is a 6 out of 10. There's no way I can give it a higher score than this. Yes, I understand she has a nice standalone head sculpt. Yes, I understand she's on an updated female body. But it doesn't mean anything without having her signature sonic scream for an alternate head, which is what the character is known for. I don't know what it is about the Hasbro Marvel team not wanting to put stylized expressions on their female faces. Do they have a problem with a female having an open mouth? I don't know. I'm not trying to be slick or insert a dirty joke here, but I'd really like to know why. I don't get it. I had to take 3 points off my rating for that exclusion. No one expected getting a Siryn figure that can't display a screaming head on it. Are they going to pull the same shit on us for Banshee? Or maybe they'll pull off that terrible business tactic where they'll release the Siryn in the same or different costume with a Banshee in a 2-pack, or worse, include a character that's unrelated to her or from a completely different era. Example, the Rogue Pyro 2-pack. And add the alternate screaming head there so you can spend more money where it wasn't necessary to spend in the first place. Again, it's just not cool. Going back to the base body here, I'm still baffled as to why they used that AOA Rogue upper torso with the 2 big holes here and not keep the Shriek body. Or in this case, her upper torso with the rest of her body. With the hair flowing out and the cape, you really can't hide it. If there isn't a cape or an additional layer to insert, it should not be applied. So I had to take 1 point off there. To end on a positive note, the articulation and paint is great. I love the soft goods cape as it made it fun for flight poses. It really added some nice visuals for photography. The extra stylized action hands look great, but it's meant to complement a screaming portrait which she doesn't have. It would have looked amazing to display if they included that portrait here. You'll need her to build Bonebreaker. If you're gonna get her for that, then cool, because the Baf is worth it. If not, and you just care about completing the 90s X-Force team for now, then support your fellow customizers in the community that will make a good quality head sculpt for this. or customize your own if you're that damn good. Overall, the ball was dropped hard here. Now I kick it back to you. What do you think of this Siryn figure? Are you close to completing your 90s X-Force team? I think all that's left now is Pharaoh. Oh, and Copycat. She joined that team too. Comment below, let me know, we'll chat about it. That was my review. Please follow me on Instagram at xmanny87. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my latest videos are up. Share and subscribe if you're new. Enjoy the pics at the end of the video. See you on the next review. Peace.